There's so much advice out there for new YouTubers that it can be overwhelming. And what's frustrating is when you try to follow that advice and nothing changes. I recently talked about a video I made years ago that now has 55,000 views, a 17% click-through rate, and broke all of the rules that you'll hear from today. For every guru who says, do this, you'll find another saying the opposite. And YouTube advice seems to come in trends. One video seems to take off and everyone makes their own version of it, trying to ride that wave of success. This means you might get more videos presented to you on the same topic, and older but still more solid advice gets ignored or pushed down in the not trending category. So who do you listen to, and what do you do in this sea of advice? Well, instead of getting overwhelmed, let's focus on 5 practical no BS things that you can do to improve your channel and your mindset. These are things you can track and actually see. And I'm going to give you actionable steps for each point so you know exactly what to go and do next. These points will help you progress, maintain a strong mindset, and stay motivated while moving forward instead of giving up. So number 1 is stop obsessing over stats. Refreshing your analytics every hour won't help and can actually hurt your motivation. YouTube hasn't figured out your audience yet, and the amount of data you have is limited. YouTube even tells you this in multiple places, where you can see not enough data to show this report. And you might find if you look under analytics, content, and then how viewers find your videos, if you look at the highest traffic source here and then see its suggested videos, and then actually look at the suggested videos, and then click show more here, you can see a large sample of the videos you're being recommended under. Now, if you see that these have nothing to do with your channel or content, then you know the rest of your stats are probably irrelevant. I had this problem at first and it's improving a little, and I'll show you how later in this video. Now, Cristos Goodrow, Vice President of Engineering at YouTube, had some interesting things to say about this. Let me summarize it for you. So if YouTube doesn't know what to do with your channel, then it will try to find you an audience. The system, or algorithms, first test your content on people it knows liked it before. This could be subscribers or just people who have reacted favourably through watch duration, likes, and so on. But with no established viewer base to test your content on, he says that it's much more difficult for the system to show your content to the right people. So what will most likely happen then is that many, perhaps all of the people it shows your content to will not be your target audience. Look familiar from these suggested videos I just showed you? So now then, all your stats like click-through rate, views, and view duration are going to be trash. This gives you a false sense perhaps that your content's bad, but it might not be. YouTube needs time and clear guidance to help you find your people. So while we work to help YouTube find our audience, for now, stop your stat watching. Then you have the time and the mental capital to be able to create more and better content. So here's how you can do that. The first thing you can do is set rules for when you check your stats. You could do once per day, once per week, after every 2 uploads, whatever works best for you and your mental well-being. If you're struggling to stay disciplined with this, just delete the Studio app from your phone. Now that might sound extreme, but you can't look at what you don't have. And this will stop you checking your stats at the worst times, like just before you're going to sleep. Are you brave enough to take action to protect your mindset so you can start moving forward? Let me know in the comments below. Now, what we can do is use the time that you save and the mental capital to work on things that you can improve. Systems, titles, thumbnails, and editing, for example. Get a little better at something every day, which brings us on to number 2, build systems to make content creation faster and more consistent. They also reduce stress, mistakes, and getting distracted by other tasks. So to do this, you want to list out as many areas that you can think of in which you can create repeatable systems. A simple example would be to create an upload template for each video. You can do this in your YouTube Studio under Settings. Make sure that any links or standard text that you use in your descriptions is set here so it appears by default every time you upload. Another would be having your equipment set up somewhere all the time, so you don't have to waste 25 minutes every time you want to film something to set up your stuff. I struggle with this thing myself because I work in a very small space. But anyway, the possibilities here are endless. But the more things that you have systems for, the easier your workflow will be and the more content you'll be able to create. So start by choosing a part of your process and then start to systematize it. Not only will this help you improve and work faster, but if you document everything, you can easily turn it into a course later on if you want to do that, or just use it to help friends and family start their channels. Now, another benefit is that you'll be able to track how you're progressing and improving as you add to and refine your systems. Also, focus on how you can speed up processes. Are you spending lots of time editing? Why not have some standard set of templates and transitions and titles, etc. that you use and you only stick to those? If you're spending time in a menu looking for new fancy transitions or recreating titles every time you edit, then you're wasting a lot of time and effort. Taking a moment to set your text designs and then save them as a template will save you so much time in the future. So an actionable step you can take here then, let's just start simply. In your editing software or Canva, create some different assets that you'll reuse in the future. So for example, create a title, screen or transition, something that helps you move between different parts of your video. Then you can save this as a template. Now next time you edit a video, all you need to do is change the text and reuse it. You're basically starting a brand kit for your channel of assets that you can reuse every time. This also starts to create consistency and familiarity throughout your video and your channel. All right, so number 3 then, stop comparing yourself to others. Now, most creators have been doing this longer than you. They might have teams, editors, or more time and experience than you, and you often don't see their first terrible videos, or you think their early stuff is early when it's actually attempt number 5, and the really old stuff is hidden. Did they suck at first? Probably. It's easy to watch a channel that appears to be new and gets 1,000 subs in 2 weeks. But then if you dig a little deeper, they often have other social media followings that they've imported over to YouTube, or even other established channels with audiences already. It's not a fair fight, so don't compare yourself. Bring your own perspective and message while constantly trying to improve, and you'll get there. Also, don't compare to people who started the same time as you but are ahead. We've already established that if YouTube shows your video to 100 people and gets it wrong, none of them will watch. Someone else's video that's in exactly the same growth stage as you could happen to get shown to the right people. Whatever people say about the algorithm, it also sucks at the start, just like your channel might. There's a certain amount of luck involved, whether people wish to admit it or not. Instead, focus on improving. So some actionable steps you can take are only compare yourself to your last video. Track what you've improved. The real struggle is you against you. Now what you can do is create a reflection checklist of what worked, what didn't, and what will I fix next time. If you're going to compare to others, go check their oldest videos. Have they improved between then and now? Now go do the same then. Now make comparing yourself to others matter by reverse engineering their success to see if you can learn something. You might discover something you can do to make progress for your own channel. Now, if you can't explain their success, then don't worry, because just keep grinding and improving. If their success seems random, yours could be too. Or you just haven't figured it out yet. Or YouTube hasn't figured you out yet. Find ways to help the algo. I'll cover this in future videos, but constant small improvements and learning will take you a long way. So number 4, don't overspend on gear. It's easy to fall into the trap of buying stuff you don't need. There's a lot of shiny stuff out there, and it's easy to think that buying it will improve your videos. Now, sometimes this is true, but think long and hard about this before you hit that buy button. I'll give you an example. So all you really need to get started is a phone and a decent mic. But phone mics aren't great. So a big improvement you could make is to buy a decent standalone mic. Better audio matters more than most things when it comes to gear. But you also need to consider the environment you're going to be recording in. Maybe there's more than one place. Do you need something like the DJI Mic 2, which you can use on the go and in the studio? Or do you want a slightly better mic you can use in the studio only? How are the acoustics in your studio? Do you need to cut out background noise with a highly directional mic? Does your laptop sound like a jet plane? Or is there air conditioning because you live in a hot place? You might need to base your choices on many factors, because something like the DJI Mic 2 is quite sensitive and picks up a lot of background noise. So it might suck in your particular environment, even if reviews on YouTube say it's great, which it is. I own one. And if you have a noisy environment, do you need to buy a new mic then? Will that fix the problem? Or will an AI tool like Adobe Podcast fix your issues so you don't need to spend more money now? Link in the description if you want to check out Adobe Podcast, by the way. It's what I use to clean up my audio. It takes one click, removes noise, and enhances audio. It saves me loads of time as I don't need to do any audio editing to get good sound. Anyway, with gear, just think carefully before you buy the wrong thing. It can save you a lot of hassle, frustration, and expense. So what can you do as an actionable step? Well, you can prioritize what equipment would actually improve your videos. Make a list and highlight the key items that would have the biggest impact for your budget. Start small, research carefully, and upgrade only when it solves a real problem. So tip number 5, experiment but with purpose. At first, you can try different things on your channel. Are you going to edit for hours or do practically no editing at all? Are you going to do short form, long form, or both? What's best for your audience? Tutorials, walk and talks, faceless, or are you going to be on camera? It's okay to mess around to figure out what works. For most people at first, no one's watching anyway. And it's important to create content that you're happy to continue making for the foreseeable future. If you do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, inauthentic, bored, or just unsatisfied, then you're probably going to do it wrong and you're probably going to stop. You need to provide value for your viewers, but that doesn't have to mean that you make stuff that you don't want to, because doing that probably won't be sustainable. Eventually, though, you want to find your style and focus. Start to ask, what's my channel about? What's its mission? Who am I helping? What kind of content do I consistently enjoy making? Am I following my mission or getting too far away from my core values? There's no one way. Everyone finds success doing different things. So instead of copying trends, focus on adding value in your own style and enjoy the process. So an actionable step you can take right now is to write down a clear plan. What's your niche, your ideal viewer, and the kind of videos that you want to make and that you think would add value for them. Keep expanding on this until you have a good idea where you're going and then run with it. Don't forget to tackle small pieces at a time. If you have a list of video ideas, which you should, work out which ones would be most valuable, most watchable, and most achievable to make, and would have the most impact. Then just make those first. Ask yourself each video, am I in line with my core values I wrote down? If not, always move back towards that. So stop chasing advice that stresses you out. Focus on what you can control, build systems, reflect and improve. Keep your gear simple, and most of all, enjoy the process. Keep a record of what you're doing and where you're going to keep you grounded and focused. Over time, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come and identify where you need to go next. Check out these other videos I mentioned and keep going. You're doing better than you think.